This is Charles Johnson, National Editor of Farm Journal and Top Producer Magazines. I'm here near Astoria, South Dakota today talking to Dave Iverson, who's chairman of the South Dakota Soybean Research and Promotion Council. We're out on the farm with Dave. Dave, the Research and Promotion Council handles the checkoff dollars here in South Dakota for soybeans. Just wondering what sort of research projects you're supporting with that money, and what things farmers here are interested in looking at to improve their outlook down the road here.
Yes, Charles, we reinvest a lot of the checkoff dollars within South Dakota. We have for a number of years had research done at SDSU in the breeding department. We've done things in health for human side of soybeans, and also agronomy-wise. And long-term, that's where some of our research dollars will be invested. Fertilizer placement, how much fertilizer, deep fertilizer placement, questions like that, and rotational issues for that we may be facing in combination with tillage, and how that can affect, and trying to do some on-farm research coordinated by SDSU to get out beyond sometimes the smaller plots, but to get larger on-farm research. And to that, I mentioned the breeding part. We've changed gears just a little bit in the breeding to focus on some non-GMO as an alternative to those that may want to grow soybeans, but can have another opportunity to buy beans and not have to pay a tech fee if that's something they chose. So that's it's an alternative we're wanting to provide our producers. And other research dollars, we invest some internationally and nationally, trying to help the animal industry, because the animal industry is a large consumer of soybean meal, and so we very much need to be supportive of the animal industry, and to keep that a viable aspect here in South Dakota, as well as nationally and internationally as well.
What sort of work are you supporting regarding soybean aphid?
We are, Kelly Tillman at SDSU heads up a program where a wasp will be introduced into producers' fields. It's not just on test plots, but actually out in producer fields, and that wasp can diminish the soybean aphid population. And so just doing some studies and research to see how much it can diminish that, and maybe to the point of eliminating having a spray for aphids, or at least delaying it a lot later in the season. And so Kelly Tillman is heading up, cooperating with producers in South Dakota that will be monitoring, those cages where wasps will be in areas, and in those areas asking not to spray for aphids, so we can get a better monitor of how it can control if it gets a heavy infestation. So some natural ways that can be another tool in the toolbox that we as producers can utilize.
Well, that's all good. Now, you are on the American Soybean Association's Committee for the World Initiative for Soy and Human Health. Can you explain what that's all about, what you're looking at, what you're hoping to accomplish there?
Yes, Charles. I have the opportunity to represent South Dakota on, like you mentioned, the World Initiative for Soy and Human Health, commonly known as WISH. And it's an exciting committee to be a part of, because it's a way that farmers can be involved in a humanitarian issue to help raise the protein levels of poor people in developing countries, maybe where protein is very lacking in their diet, and soy can very much be a good fix for that. It can be one of the cheapest sources of human protein. If they can't afford meat, they can. If soy can be a part of their diet, it can be just included in some of their staples. Soy flour can be added to their staple that they have, a bread or a muffin or whatever the product may be. So it's not changing their food dramatically at all. They probably know it's very little change, and yet it can improve their protein uptake, and it's shown that it can reverse stunting in children, and can education-wise better students and more attentive students, and also in countries where AIDS may be a real issue. If their health is poor, it's hard to fight the AIDS responses that AIDS bring into people. So by improving their health, they could much be able to fight off the AIDS epidemic. So it's an exciting way to be a part as a farmer that grows soybeans, and to see in a humanitarian sense my product being utilized and helping people around the world have improving their lives.
Well, that's interesting. Improve their diets, improve their health, and also improve the market reach for our soybeans, which is important.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, we like to have our soybeans used. You know, be the first choice of people buying should be U.S. soybeans, and so it's a great way to utilize some U.S. soybeans.
Well, thank you, Dave Iverson. It's good talking to you. And this is Charles Johnson reporting from Astoria, South Dakota, for the editors of Farm Journal and Top Producer magazines.